I'm going to cover 3 goal setting exercises that have helped me go from completely lost in life to having absolute clarity over the things I want with an actual path to get them. I'm going to teach you how to find what you want in life, how to create a path to get there, and how to overcome the fear that holds you back. By the end of this video, you won't just have goals, you'll have a roadmap to your dream life. All right, before we get started, I want to give a bit of a disclaimer. When you're setting truly large goals, for the love of God, aim high. If your goal is to get absolutely shredded, you're probably going to make it much farther than the person whose goal is to just get in better shape. You'll rarely find someone who sets a goal and then blows right past it, but people who aim high usually make more progress on their goal, even if they don't end up completing it. If my goal is to run a marathon and I crap out at mile 10, I still absolutely smoked the guy who only ran a 5K. This is also not the time to succumb to societal expectations. Your parents, your friends, and everyone who has ever met you has preconceived notions of who you are and who you should be. And if you adopt the identity that is forced upon you by society, you are likely going to adopt the goals that society thinks is good for you. The problem is that these goals are not yours, and they will not lead you to a life of fulfillment or self-actualization. What do you want to experience before you die? What would you do with your life if nobody knew you? And what would you regret not having done with your life? Be selfish, be honest, and aim high. Okay, enough motivation, let's get down to business. So do, be, have is a goal setting technique designed to help you find what you want in life. Without having a clear idea of the things you want to happen in your life, it's very hard to set goals that feel truly meaningful. And without meaningful goals, it's pretty much impossible to do the very hard work required to get to the other side of success. And if you click the link in the description, there's a free template to this exercise in case you want to follow along. All right, step 1 is to write 3 to 5 things that you want to do before you die. Life is finite, and so is the list of peak experiences that you can have. And often if these peak experiences aren't explicitly defined, they end up just not happening. Most people don't accidentally run an Ironman or travel to every country in the world by happenstance. You need to define your dreams if you want them to come true. Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to start a business, learn filmmaking, or perform original music to a crowd? If you were 90 years old and on your deathbed, what would you regret not having experienced? After writing down what you want to do in life, write 3 to 5 things you want to be in your lifetime. For this exercise, channel your inner child when being asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? You can think about this in terms of titles and identities, but you don't just have to pick one. We take on many titles and identities over the course of our lives, but without defining what we want our title to be, the world has a way of forcing one upon you. We want to avoid this. The goals around what you want to do are vital, but they're only part of the equation. Understanding who you want to be taps into your character, your values, and the version of yourself that you want to become. A musician doesn't merely play music. They live, breathe, and exist in a world defined by harmonies and rhythm. A good person doesn't just do good things on occasion. Being a good person is the bedrock of their identity, and that is the foundation where they make their decisions. You channel the world you experience through the identity you assume. So pick an identity that complements your goal. Who you think you are will affect what you do. So having an identity that matches your goal is just as important as the goal itself. You could be a musician, a pro snowboarder, a good parent, a world record holder. And after you found out what you want to do and what you want to be, it's time to figure out what you want to have. While I do practice minimalism, it is essential to find what possessions, material or not, you want to attain. So write a list of 3 to 5 things that you would like to have. This could be financial independence, a sports car, a supportive group of friends, or a Nobel Prize. From tangible items like Lamborghinis to personal freedom, which I suggest more than a sports car, knowing what you want to have will give you insights into what you should do. And after writing down all the things you want to do, be, and have in your lifetime, you might feel a boundless sense of possibility. But remember, we're only here for a short time. Part of the beauty of life is the fact that we can't do everything, and big goals take sacrifice. This brings us to the most critical and probably the most difficult part of this entire process. From your list, circle only the top 3 most important items. These are your non-negotiables, the goals you're willing to spend your time, money, and resources to achieve, the ones you would most regret not achieving. You're probably not going to be the first astronaut to walk on Mars and the best violin player in the world. You can't spend 100 hours a week running a successful business and still expect to have time to write romance novels and spend tons of time with your family. And this isn't to say you need to abandon all but 3 of your dreams, but if you want to achieve something truly great, you need to know which dreams matter most. After sacrificing the goals that don't mean as much to you, you now have an honest and focused list of the things you truly want to achieve. This exercise will provide a starting point for creating the life you want, but it doesn't answer one fundamental question that stops 99% of people from achieving their goals. I know what I want to achieve. How do I actually get there? The RIGS method, which stands for Reverse Iterative Goal Setting, is a technique that I created to help you create a path to reaching your end goal. Unlike traditional goal setting methods, the RIGS method works in reverse, by starting with your end goal and then building out a clear path to success. I'll use myself as an example to explain how this works. One of my current goals is to join the YouTube Partner Program so I can monetize this YouTube channel. To be eligible, I need to achieve 3 specific milestones. To upload 3 videos in 90 days, an input goal, to gain 500 subscribers, an output goal, and to accumulate 3,000 hours of watch time, another output goal. In the RIGS method, these milestones or criteria are considered as separate projects. If your goal is to get super ripped, your projects might be putting on 15 pounds of muscle mass, getting to 10% body fat, working out 5 days a week, and learning about nutrition. If you complete all of these projects, you will inevitably hit your goal. Each project represents a significant step towards achieving your end goal, and completion of all projects should give you 100% completion of that goal. But what sets reverse iterative goal setting apart from other methods is its focus on iteration and keystone actions. After you've defined your projects, you need to define your keystone actions and iterations. These are the things that are going to keep you progressing when you run out of actionable input goals. Simply uploading 3 videos isn't going to guarantee 500 subscribers or 3,000 hours of watch time. However, uploading a video is a fundamental input goal that I can control. And if my goal is to join the YouTube Partner Program, this is my keystone action. Same thing with working out. Just going to the gym 5 times a week isn't going to guarantee you get the results you want, but you're not going to put on muscle if you're not consistently making effort in the gym. Let's say I've completed one of my input goals. I've either uploaded 3 videos or I have started working out 5 times a week. If I still haven't achieved my goal, I need to now pair my keystone action with an iteration that can help another project. For example, I can do my keystone action of uploading a video, but this time optimize for higher watch time or better subscription rates. I can complete my keystone action of working out, but this time I can iterate for lower body fat by adding cardio into my routine. By iterating on your keystone actions, you'll help other projects, but you'll also get better at the keystone actions themselves. And this will help you start to tackle larger and larger input goals in the future. For more about this, go to rigsmethod.com and there are some free templates. Now, there's only one thing standing in your way from achieving everything you've defined. Achieving goals isn't just about knowing what you want or having a path to get it. It's about understanding and navigating the fears that could potentially hold you back. Fear is natural, but oftentimes it's not based in reality, or it's an exaggerated perception of it. Fear setting is a method I learned about from Tim Ferriss that helps you define these goals, understand them, and give you a path to conquering them. And if you want to follow along, there's another template linked in the description. The first step is to define. In this column, write down every fear you have related to your goal. Fear is like a shadow in your bedroom. In the dark, in the middle of the night, there's a silhouette of something terrible lurking just out of sight. This is your fear. Pulling the covers over your eyes and refusing to see what that fear is will just make it more terrifying. But if you get out of bed and flip on the light, you'll see that that monster in the corner is just a jacket hanging on a lamp. Not so scary. If you want to conquer your fears, name them. For example, if your goal is to start a new business, you might fear losing your savings, facing criticism from people you respect, the possibility of the venture failing entirely, or even the fear of it succeeding. In as much detail as you can, write down everything you're afraid of encountering on the path to accomplishing your goal. Step 2 is prevent. In the second column, write down everything you can do to prevent those fears from coming true. If you're afraid of losing all of your savings when starting a business, you can take a class on budgeting or financial management, or even hire an accountant to walk you through everything. These things would at least create some buffer between you and your fear. Try to figure out as many of these things as you can. And the final step is repair. In this column, write down everything you can do to repair the situation if those fears do come true. A lot of the time, we overestimate the lasting impact of our fears, thinking they can have irreparable damage to our lives. But in most cases, there are steps that we can take to pretty much get rid of or at least lessen their negative consequences. Think of this as your contingency plan. For example, if one of your fears around starting a business is losing all of your savings, your repair actions might be moving back in with your parents, getting a loan, or even considering a part-time job to help cushion the blow. You can also seek mentorship and guidance. If your fear is about your business failing, then it might be wise to connect with a seasoned entrepreneur, maybe a startup incubator, or other people who have the knowledge that you need. And it's also important to note that repair doesn't mean fix entirely. It's about managing the aftermath in a way that allows you to regain control and move forward. Things will always go wrong, but the people who are successful just reassess and keep moving. By the end of the fear setting exercise, you'll likely realize 2 things. Many of our fears are not as daunting when placed under scrutiny. They're usually the products of our imagination, magnified by anxiety and uncertainty. And even if fears do come true, there are always actionable steps we can take to repair the situation. Remember, fear is just an emotion. What defines us is not the fears that we have, but how we choose to confront them. Now, with an understanding of what you want out of life, a clear path to get it, and the tools to overcome fear that will hold you back, you are ready to embark on the journey to your dream life. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe, and if you want to learn more and get the templates I mentioned earlier, check out rigsmethod.com in the link below. See you next time.